My brother's new girlfriend insulted my appearance and undermined me in front of the whole family. Her face went red when I called her out on the family dinner. My brother James and I have always been close. We grew up in a small town, went to the same schools, and stayed in touch even after I moved to the city for work. When he met Natalie 6 months ago through a dating app, he seemed happy. I was genuinely excited for him. She was beautiful, accomplished, and seemed to make him laugh. He invited me to dinner to meet her properly. That's when everything changed. We sat down at a restaurant. I ordered, and we made small talk about her job in marketing and his work as an accountant. 20 minutes into the meal, Natalie leaned back in her chair and looked at me directly. She said, "You know, I don't see the family resemblance at all. You two don't look like brothers. Are you sure you're actually related?" She laughed like it was the funniest thing she'd ever said. James tried to smooth it over. He said we had different features from our parents and that I took after our mom, while he took after our dad. Natalie waved her hand dismissively and said that it didn't explain it. She said I must have been adopted or that something didn't add up. She kept pressing. I told her that was a weird thing to say to someone you just met. She replied that she was just being honest and that I should get a DNA test if I was so defensive about it. The whole dinner became uncomfortable. James didn't defend me. He just kept quiet and finished his food. I left early, telling them I had an early morning. I was hurt, but I told myself this was one interaction. Maybe she was just socially awkward. Maybe she'd had too much wine. I gave her the benefit of the doubt. Over the next few months, I watched my brother pull away from me. His calls became less frequent. When I invited him to my company's annual event, he said Natalie thought it would be weird for him to go without her, and they were both busy. When my best friend got engaged and I wanted to celebrate with James, Natalie apparently made a comment that I was always trying to insert myself into his life. James had mentioned this to me casually, like it wasn't a massive red flag. I'd built a successful career at a tech company. I was promoted to senior manager last year, overseeing 15 employees and managing multi-million-dollar projects. I'd earned respect in my field. I'd developed a reputation for being direct, fair, and competent. People came to me for advice. I mentored younger employees. This wasn't someone people disrespected without consequence. But my own brother's girlfriend had decided I was beneath her attention, and my brother was allowing it. 3 weeks ago, there was a family gathering at our parents' house. Everyone was there. James brought Natalie. We were all in the living room, and my mother was showing everyone photos from a family trip she'd just taken. She pulled up a picture of me at a company conference speaking on a panel. My mom was proud. She'd been telling everyone about my promotion. Natalie looked at the photo and immediately said, "You look so uncomfortable up there. I don't know how you do public speaking. You have such an awkward presence." She said it loud enough that everyone heard. She didn't even pretend to whisper. She continued by saying that James was so much more naturally charismatic, and that it was surprising how different two brothers could be. My father looked appalled. My mother went quiet. My sister actually told Natalie that it was rude, that James laughed nervously and tried to change the subject. That's when I snapped. I stood up and asked Natalie directly why she'd spent months making insulting comments about me and why my brother allowed it. I told her that her observations about whether I looked like James were uninformed and frankly, bizarre. I told her that her commentary on my professional abilities and my presence was inappropriate, and that I didn't appreciate her using family gatherings as a platform to demean me. Natalie's face went red. She said I was being overly sensitive. She said she was just stating what she observed, and that I clearly had some kind of inferiority complex if I was so bothered by honest feedback. She said she was only trying to help by being truthful. She turned to James and said that I was ruining the evening with my drama, and that he should talk to me about my attitude. James shifted uncomfortably. He looked between us and said that maybe we should all just calm down. I asked him directly if he agreed with her, if he thought there was something wrong with how I looked or how I carried myself professionally. He didn't answer. He just said that Natalie didn't mean anything by it, and that I was making a bigger deal out of this than it was. I realized in that moment that he'd chosen her. He'd chosen someone who actively disrespected his sister over maintaining a relationship with me. I walked out of that house and called him the next day. I told him that I couldn't have a relationship with him as long as Natalie was in his life and actively demeaning me. I told him that his failure to defend me said everything about his character. I gave him an ultimatum. Either he addressed her behavior and set boundaries, or I was done. He called me back 2 hours later and said that Natalie felt attacked and that she wasn't going to change. He said I needed to accept that this was who she was. I told him that was his choice to make, but I'd made mine. I hung up and haven't spoken to him since. My parents tried to intervene, but I was clear. I would rebuild my relationship with my brother the moment he stopped allowing his girlfriend to disrespect me. Until then, he'd made his decision.